Performance is a trap. Performance, if you think about it, people put on a different persona, right? What happens when we watch a movie, when we have our favorite shows, right? We all notice that they put on a performance. Or if we go to a Broadway show or other shows like American Idol, or what's the other one? The Voice, or what are those trashy TV shows? I believe they put on a show like the Housewives of fill in whatever state or city. Performance catches us off guard. It catches us in places that cause us to put on masks and faces that don't even belong to us. There is a great side to performance, such as when I get on live, right? I am being myself, but there's a persona that I put on. It's not fake, it's my actual self. So what you're seeing and how I sound is exactly how I sound in person and if you and I were on a phone. I've often gone back and listened to my voice and how I sound, and sometimes I'm like, are people going to think I'm being rude or too serious or being a witch? And then I'm like, but no, because I don't need to perfect my voice. I don't need to change how I am just to make other people comfortable in my space. Performance is a trap because we can put on a show for acceptance. Meaning if I were to show up differently online and if I was different in person, you would more than likely be like, what is that? But instead, I like to be authentic. I like to be myself, the raw, unedited version of Tiff, and show up in a way that transforms lives. In a way that where my voice is used to provide the, let's say, medicine in quotations, to bring others home to find themselves. Yes, when we stop performing, we find us again. There is a you that is longing for and waiting for you to come home to yourself and find out what your voice is like, right? What you're like. Have you ever heard the statement, try yourself on for size, right? So try you on for size and tell me what you think. How do you feel? I'm going to sip my coffee while you type in the comments. What does it feel like when I say those words? Type it in the comments. Let's conversate. What does that sound like? How does that feel like? Excuse me. What does that feel like? Performance also causes us to get into a perfectionism mode. And it's like, wait a second. Who are we being perfect for? Why are we being perfect? Why have we allowed perfectionism to stop us from showing up in our most amazing self? By the way, this is not scripted. I don't have a teleprompter in front of me. I don't even have notes. I don't thrive off of notes. I honestly, if I had to read a teleprompter, I would tell them to pause it and I'd pick out, this is my jam. It's my superpower. I can pick out things that I read, that I see, and I can create the most easiest path for myself. And I've done this for my clients. I do it for people. I even do it for my coworkers, right? And so I do it for everyone. It just comes natural at my job, especially for everyone. And because I get a lot of questions. And then I'm just a person that I don't fly by the seat of my pants, but I don't do well with rigid structures. So I can look at a teleprompter. Let's say I'm looking at the teleprompter. Just pretend. There's no teleprompter over there, okay? And I can pick out words, and I can then brainstorm topics I'm going to talk about based on the words. It's just how I roll. And if you don't roll like that, like let's say you love typing out your speeches or your talks or your videos, that's fine. Do what works for you. Please do not do what works best for me, because your energy isn't going to match. Then you're really going to be caught up in a performance. And I was never in Girl Scouts, but I had a boss that said, Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Proper preparation, 1, 2, prevents 3, poor performance. The 5 P's. And I'm like, okay. Now, I worked for this boss in 2007 to 2008, and then they called me back in 2013 to work for them, to run their front office. I was an administrator, okay? And it's a different ballgame running a front office. And no, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. But I finally caught on, and 11 years later, I realized, oh my gosh, I haven't worked for him for 11 years. I don't even know what he looks like anymore. But I remember certain things that he shared with me about business, great tips. I also remember things that he shared, but the 5 P's stick. If you think about it, proper preparation prevents poor performance. It's like, oh, wait a minute, proper preparation. That could be like preparing to show up as you. We think of the actors that maybe are no longer with us, right? We think of Robin Williams, right? We think of John Ritter. We think of John Ritter is an actor. He was in a TV show called Three's Company, and he's got a son, Jason Ritter. Anyway, I guess coffee has kicked in. I think of other people who put on great performances. Cardi B, Beyonce, right? Prince. The people who come on the America's Got Talent, right? The AGT. People who go on American Idol and The Voice. The people who were on The Voice this past season. Oh my gosh, phenomenal people. They have amazing voices. They're super talented. They had to perform, but they got to showcase themselves. They got to showcase who they are. They got to showcase their raw talent to the world. And we got to know each and every one of them by what they shared with us. But they weren't really faking it. They were themselves, right? And the person who won The Voice this last season 26 or 27, he brought it, right? He didn't fake it. He didn't put on a performance where he lost himself. He stayed himself, and that's a hard thing to do when you're in front of the whole world. One of the best places to start without performing is right now, right here, where you're at, even when you get online, even at your job. By the way, performing at your job, I'm going to tell you something. It's going to cause you to look like the popular crowd, and the popular crowd, well, in my honest experience and humble experience and opinion, and it's what I've seen in the over 3 decades that I have been in the career field, the popular crowd isn't a crowd that I choose to be part of. Why? Because they gossip. They put on a performance. They put on masks. They're fake. Popular crowd complains. They gossip about other people openly. And it's like, wow. And I refuse to be a part of the popular crowd. So performance-based acceptance is a freaking trap. I used to be caught up in performance-based acceptance, and it keeps us stuck in survival mode. It keeps us in a place where we're literally surviving. We're not thriving. When we aren't being ourselves, we aren't thriving. We're suffocating. We really are. So today, where do you need to put yourself on for size? Go ahead. Put you on. I promise you. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite book? What's your favorite song? Your favorite food? What is your favorite thing to wear? What is your favorite hair color? Go down the line, go down the list. And I look forward to seeing what you type in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And did this encourage you? Yes. Performance also leads to burnout. So, all that to say, you got this. Yes, you do. I look forward to seeing you. Okay.